If you're a new musician and you're looking for a portable PA system to up your game as far as your performances, then I'd like to show you the Fender Pro 500. This actually is the second unit that I have owned. It was my very first PA system. I ended up losing it during a move, and I went out and purchased a new one when I got started here in Phoenix, Arizona. So I would like to show all you musicians who are considering getting a sound rig for yourself something that's really easy to work with, but it actually will help you in more ways than one. So come along with me and I'll show you the Fender Pro 500. Now the only problem I have had with this unit is this connection right here. This comes hooked together with both speakers, one on each side, and a handle right here so you can pick it up and carry it in and out of your venues. And it works really well, but during the course of my ownership of this one, I somehow messed this up and I have to use a screwdriver in order to get this off. So I just have to pop this little tab from the inside. And it pops off, and then these clips right here flip up and your system comes apart and you're ready to set it up. Okay, so I have had my system for about 5 years now, so know that they do have newer models available. This one I love though, and that's why I bought a second one. The speakers are easy to assemble. They have a small hole in the bottom that fits right on the stands that they give you, and there is an input in the front here for the speaker cable, and so they just slide right onto these handy poles, and then you plug it right in like so. The speaker stands that come with your unit are very solid in construction. They're very compact when they're folded up. You have adjuster knobs, you have a locking pin, and so when you're raising your speaker for the maximum height, you can pull this up and there will be holes in there for you to lock. I have used mine with light bars as well so that you can provide lighting, and so they're very tough and sturdy and they work really good. So these are the stands that you have. You'll have 2 stands, 2 speakers, 2 speaker wires, and a power cord. So let's start with what the front of the unit looks like. You have a main gain output, you have room tone. You have 2 different reverb choices, time and tone for that as well. Each channel, you have 8 channels completely, totally to use. Your 8th channel is your USB control for what's going on up here in your USB port. You have a record option, play, pause, fast forward, and reverse. And this will play MP3 files, but it will record in WAV. So you can actually incorporate your live performances into your DAW if you would like when you get home from your shows. Your first set of knobs is going to be for your gain on the channel. You're going to have an EQ for your highs and your lows on the next 2 knobs, and your last set of knobs are going to be for reverb. Also, you have a pad option for these channels up to channel 6. On channel 7 and 8, you have the ability to plug in 1/8" headphone jacks, or you could do in-ear monitors, whatever you want to do. We have output options for you to use powered monitors in your setup, and you can control those the same way with all these. Your levels, your EQ, and your reverb. Now, this is an output to the speakers, so whatever's coming out is going to come out of these. It could be this, or it could be just the sound of the unit. It doesn't matter. It's all going to come out of these, and this is your gain for that option. I do have a powered monitor here, but I do not have it hooked into this setup, but I could if I needed to, just so you know. Now, we go on to powering this baby on, but before I do so, I want to plug in my MP3 player because this is going to read what's happening when you turn the unit on. So I want to have my MP3 player there, and I can just either latch it up in here and hold it like that, or just set it up there. I use a short cord, so it gets a little clumsy sometimes, but it doesn't really hurt anything. So now I have that plugged in, and I'm going to power this on and show you that the back of the unit, we have a speaker left, a speaker right, and a power supply, an on-off switch, and you have the capability to switch this over to 220 volt. I use 120 volt here in our home, so I don't need to worry. And then you have this handy little open up compartment space to keep your speaker cables, your power supply, and any odds and ends that you might need to take with you for a gig, splitters and adapters and such. And so we have our unit. Now, each one has a pad button, so you can turn those off, or maybe you have several on but you want them all off, you can do an overall pad. And that will allow you to be plugging in and out your instruments. Now, if you'll notice here, I have my acoustic guitar and my keyboard set up in my home studio here. So we're going to plug in to line 1, the keyboard. To line 2, I'm going to do this Shure microphone that I have on a stand there. And that's going to plug in here. If I can turn this around right. Sorry about my eyes. And then we have this one here. We're going to plug in for the guitar. Now, I can take the pad off, and you might hear me echoing in this microphone. But this is my microphone. I can add reverb, and I mean, you can really add reverb if you want. So you can get a little crazy if you want. You can change the time, the different type of reverb, and that one has a little longer echo. I can hone in on the tone of the entire thing. I can hone in on the tone of the reverb and the time of the reverb. Maybe I don't want it a lot. Maybe I want it massive, forever. So yeah, that's your controls. I never use that much reverb ever. I like it down there, around there. So anyways, that's my microphone. And I have that baby cranked up, but as you can see, you have a monitor here at the top. That monitor is going to let you know if you're gaining, if you're clipping, if anything's wrong with your sound. You do have a monitor, so know that. And we're going to go on to adding the keyboard. So now I have my vocals and I need sound on my keys. If you notice, I have that channel padded, so we're going to turn that off. Now that's just my bare keyboard, but I can actually use my sustain and play a little ditty if I want. I keep this right here, so if I get ideas I can record, but I can sing while I play my piano, and I can record if I have the MP3 player cord. So I can get ideas. If I do have my MP3 player plugged in, I can record. And maybe even I want to add in some rhythm. So I can actually use my rhythm section on my keyboard. All right, and I might want to play the guitar and sing. So I can leave that go and you'll hear what's happening and the whole mix is coming down. And I also have a meter on the front. So, you know, even if you're not a sound engineer, you can do this by yourself. So now I have my guitar and we're gonna put that in there. And it sounds a little above everything, huh? So maybe I want more drums. So it's versatile. Now, my volume is at not quite halfway. But yeah, so I can add my guitar in there and I can turn that up and so yeah, I have the whole system going and I can be here on my computer looking up lyrics if I want, or writing things down as I'm writing. So I do recommend getting a PA system. I recommend the Fender Pro 500 because I'm used to it. This is a great machine for someone to start out with who's learning about mixing and who's trying to put a band together. This is a great unit for a garage band. Somebody who's just starting out putting a band together like that in a small area. This unit is rated at 750 watts of power, but in my use, I have a hard time. I think that it should be beefier with what it can put out, but you know, who's to say? I'm going to give it 3.5 stars because of the power and the little issue with the speaker latch. But it is a super great unit. It has never let me down. It has always worked. I did have a musician plug in and blow out one of my speakers at one point. So know what you're plugging in there. Know what you're doing. But research around and see. This one has all the capabilities I was looking for. It can record. You can hook up monitors for your stage performance. You can have microphones and multiple instruments. If someone walks into your gig and wants to plug in, you can carry pickups and plug them in too. So there's a lot of diversity with this system. The Fender Pro 500 portable PA system is good for people who are doing event planning, people who do public speaking events with entertainment, or even just public speaking. You have the capability to record your performance, which can help you decipher what you need to work on the next time you're out, or you can create your own live CD. It records in WAV format, so most of the time with every DAW out there you can upload a WAV file and you can get working on it from your home studio. You can also hook this into your home studio. This is a great system for venues around 2,000 to 3,000 square feet or under to get a crisp sound. If you want to go bigger, then I'd probably go bigger than the 750 watt powered unit. They do have upgrades of this model, so this is a preview of now what they have turned into. This unit itself is 5 years old and I'm still using it and still loving it. I give this unit 3.5 stars, and that is because of the latching issue, and also it's rated at 750 watts of power, but I kind of believe that it might be a little bit lower. I just expected it to be a little more beefy than I got, but I'm happy with what I got. So 3.5 stars for the Fender Pro 500.